Pay attention to the security camera footage. October 26, 2023. Northbrook, Illinois. Residential CCTV mounted on the corner of a backyard patio captures exactly 47 seconds. You see an elderly man, maybe late 70s, silver hair, wearing a gray cardigan, sitting in a wheelchair on stone pavers. A woman in her mid-30s, dark hair pulled back in a ponytail, wearing navy blue scrubs, walks from the back door toward him carrying a blanket. She drapes it over his lap. She adjusts it carefully around his legs. Then she moves to the front of the wheelchair, bends down, and cups his face in both hands. She kisses him on the forehead, holds there for 3 seconds, then straightens up. The man reaches for her hand. She takes it. They stay like that, hands clasped, looking at each other, for another 8 seconds. No word we can hear. Just two people holding hands in afternoon sunlight. Then she moves behind the wheelchair, grips the handles, and pushes him back toward the house. At 10:42 a.m., they disappear from the camera's view. This is the last time Maya Lewis is seen alive. 9 days later, November 4th, 2023, 7:12 a.m. anonymous call to Northbrook Police Department. Male voice, neutral tone, no emotion. Riverside Industrial Park, Warehouse 7, back storage room. There's a body. Line goes dead. Detectives arrive at 7:58 a.m. The industrial park has been mostly abandoned for 5 years. They locate Warehouse 7. The main door is unlocked. Inside, dust darkness, empty shelving units. They find the back storage room. Door locked from the outside with a heavy padlock. They cut it. Inside, they find Maya Lewis. Hands zip-tied behind her back. Ligature marks around her neck. Still wearing the navy scrubs from 9 days ago. She'd been dead for 9 days while the entire city searched for her. Now, most people think this is about a random abduction. Wrong. This is about $2.5 million, a revised will, and a family that paid $50,000 to eliminate someone they saw as a threat to their inheritance. The accident that changed everything. July 3rd, 2018. Robert Collins, 73 years old, retired finance executive, is driving through an intersection in Northbrook when a drunk driver runs a red light, going 65 miles per hour. T-bones Robert's sedan on the driver's side. The impact is catastrophic. Robert survives, but his spine doesn't. 3 vertebrae shattered. Spinal cord severed at L1. Paralyzed from the waist down. Permanently. Robert has 3 family members. Son Jeffrey, 48, corporate attorney. Daughter Linda, 45, real estate agent. Grandson Cameron, 24, recent college graduate working in marketing. First 2 weeks after the accident, they're at the hospital constantly. Concerned, attentive, present. 3rd week, visits become less frequent. 4th week, maybe twice. By the 2nd month, Jeffrey visits once a week. Linda every 2 weeks. Cameron hasn't been back since week 3. Robert spends his 74th birthday in his wheelchair, staring at a phone that doesn't ring. No cards. No visits. Nothing. Investigators later recover Robert's personal journal from September 2018, 2 months post-accident. One entry reads, "I became invisible the moment I stopped being able to stand. My family loved the man who could golf, travel, and write checks. They have no use for the man in the wheelchair. I am a burden they visit out of obligation, not love. Each visit feels shorter. Each goodbye feels more permanent." Another entry, October 2018. Jeffrey called today. Didn't ask how I'm doing. Asked if I had reviewed the estate plan recently. Asked if everything was still in order. He didn't say what he meant, but I understood. He wanted to make sure his inheritance is secure. That's what I've become to them. A countdown to a payout. By December 2018, the visits have almost stopped entirely. Jeffrey comes once a month, stays 20 minutes, asks surface-level questions, leaves. Linda sends texts occasionally, but hasn't visited since Thanksgiving. Cameron has completely vanished. Robert sits alone in a house that feels enormous and empty, with a body that doesn't work and a family that doesn't care. Maya arrives. January 9th, 2019. Robert hires a home health aide through Compassionate Care Services. The agency sends someone with an impeccable record, 4.8 star rating across 52 families, 8 years of experience. Certified nursing assistant. Her name is Maya Lewis, 34 years old, born and raised on the south side of Chicago. Maya's background: first in her family to attend college, enrolled in nursing school at age 22 with plans to become an RN. But during her third year, her father is diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. He's only 56. Her mother works 2 jobs just to keep the family afloat. Maya makes a choice. She drops out, moves back home, becomes her father's primary caregiver for 3 years. Her father dies when Maya is 27. She never goes back to nursing school. Instead, she gets certified as a home health aide. Says she found her calling taking care of her dad. Realized she didn't need the degree to make a difference. She just needed to show up and care. Maya arrives at Robert's house for her first shift. Robert is sitting in his wheelchair by the window in the living room, staring out at nothing. Doesn't turn when she enters. Doesn't acknowledge her. He's given up on people. Maya doesn't do the standard introduction. Doesn't ask him how he's feeling or run through the care checklist. She walks over, sits on the couch near his wheelchair, and asks one question. "Mr. Collins, if you could eat anything right now, anything in the world, what would it be? Not what's easy or what's healthy. What would make you happy?" Robert turns slowly. Someone is asking what he wants, not what he needs medically. What he wants. He thinks, then answers. "My wife used to make this chicken pot pie. Homemade crust, real vegetables, cream sauce from scratch. She died 4 years ago. I haven't had it since." Maya nods. "Do you have a recipe?" Robert blinks. I think so. Maybe in a box somewhere." 2 days later, Maya shows up with ingredients. She finds a recipe in a box of Robert's late wife's belongings. She sets up everything at counter height in the kitchen, so Robert can participate from his wheelchair. He can't stand, but he can chop vegetables on a cutting board in his lap. He can stir the sauce. He can help crimp the edges of the crust. When they sit down to eat that pot pie, Robert cries. First time he's felt human since the accident. Over the next year, Maya does more than the job requires. She learns Robert loves classical music, especially Beethoven, brings her old record player, sets it up in his living room. They listen to symphonies during his physical therapy sessions. She discovers he used to read philosophy, finds his favorite book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, covered in dust on a shelf, reads passages to him every afternoon. She takes him out, not just to medical appointments, to restaurants, to parks, to a bookstore where he used to spend Saturday mornings before the accident, places where people see him as a person, not just a wheelchair. Robert starts smiling again, laughing, hoping, from care to love. By 2020, they've developed a routine that goes beyond professional care. Maya arrives at 8 a.m. They have breakfast together, not her serving him. Together, they talk about everything. Books, music, politics, memories, dreams. Robert talks about his late wife, how much he misses her, how he thought he'd never feel connection again. Maya talked about her father, how caring for him taught her that dignity matters more than mobility, that a person's worth isn't measured by what their body can do. Somewhere in those conversations, something shifts. Maya starts noticing how Robert lights up when she walks into a room, how he asks about her life, remembers details, wants to know about her day, how he looks at her when he thinks she's not watching. Robert notices how Maya laughs at his jokes, even the bad ones, how she touches his shoulder when she talks to him, how she stays longer than her shift requires, not because she's paid to, but because she wants to. By early 2021, they both know. Neither says it. September 15th, 2021. Robert finally speaks. They're sitting in the living room after dinner, Beethoven playing softly in the background. Robert turns to Maya and says, "I need to tell you something, and I need you to not say anything until I'm finished." Maya nods. "I'm in love with you, not because you take care of me, not because I'm lonely or grateful. I'm in love with you because of who you are, the way you see the world, the way you make me feel like I still matter. I know I'm 76. I know you're 36. I know this is complicated and probably impossible, but I couldn't keep pretending I don't feel this way. Maya stands up, walks to the door. Robert's heart sinks. She's leaving. He's ruined everything. But Maya doesn't leave. She locks the door, walks back, kneels in front of his wheelchair, looks him directly in the eyes. I don't care that you're 76. I don't care what anyone thinks. I love you too. I've loved you for months and didn't know how to tell you. They become a couple that day. Keep it quiet. They know his family would never understand. They know people would assume manipulation, exploitation, gold digging. They don't care what people think, but they're not ready for the fight. For the next 2 years, they build a life together. Maya moves in officially in early 2022. They're partners. She still provides care when he needs it. But they're equals in every way that matters. They watch movies. They argue about books. They sit in comfortable silence. They're happy. The family returns. January 22nd, 2023. Jeffrey Collins visits his father. First time in 7 months. Phone records later show Jeffrey called a financial planner the week before, asking about estate planning timelines and how to access inheritance funds early. He needed money. Legal bills. Debt. He won't say. Jeffrey walks in unannounced around 3 p.m. What he sees stops him cold. His father and Maya sitting on the couch together. Not caregiver and patient. Holding hands. Maya's head resting on Robert's shoulder. They're watching a movie, laughing at something on screen. The comfort between them is obvious. This isn't professional. This is a couple. Jeffrey explodes. What the hell is this? Robert turns, face hardening. Jeffrey, you should have called. Dad, what's going on here? Is she or you too? Maya stands. I should give you privacy. No. Robert grabs her hand. Stay. Jeffrey, Maya and I are together. We're in a relationship. We have been for over a year. Jeffrey's face twists. She's taking advantage of you. Robert's voice goes ice cold. Where were you, Jeffrey? Where were you when I spent my 74th birthday alone? When I couldn't get out of bed by myself and sat there for 6 hours waiting for someone to help me? Where were you when I was so depressed I didn't eat for 3 days? Maya was here, every single day. She's the only person who gave a damn about me as a human being. Jeffrey slams his hand on the table. She's after your money. Get out. Dad. Get out. Jeffrey leaves, but he's not done. That evening, Jeffrey calls Linda and Cameron. Emergency meeting. All three meet at Jeffrey's house the next day. Jeffrey, Dad's involved with a caregiver. Romantically. Linda, you're joking. I saw them. They're together. Cameron, so what do we do? Jeffrey, we need to make sure she's not manipulating him. We need to protect him. But they're not protecting Robert. They're protecting their inheritance. They hire a private investigator, run a full background check on Maya. The investigator finds nothing. Clean record. No criminal history. No financial red flags. No history of targeting elderly clients. She's exactly who she appears to be. They consult an elder law attorney about challenging Robert's mental competency. The attorney reviews Robert's medical records, speaks with his doctors. Verdict: Robert Collins is completely mentally competent, sharp, lucid, capable of making his own decisions. Every legal avenue fails. But then something changes. The will and the leak. March 18th, 2023. Robert calls his estate attorney, Gerald Whitmore. Private meeting. Robert's revising his will. Complete overhaul. Previous will. Son Jeffrey. $1.80 million daughter Linda. $1.80 million grandson Cameron. $400. 000. Remaining assets and house. To be split between Jeffrey and Linda. New will. Son Jeffrey. $250. 000 daughter Linda. $250. 000 grandson Cameron. $100. 000 Maya Lewis. $2.5 million, a house, and all remaining assets. Robert includes one additional clause, crystal clear. If any family member is convicted of any crime against Maya Lewis or conspiracy to commit any crime against Maya Lewis, their inheritance is immediately void and donated to the American Cancer Society. Robert signs. March 18th, 2023. Legally airtight. Witness. Notarized. Done. But Robert doesn't know that Gerald's paralegal, Susan Hartley, is Linda's former college roommate. They still have lunch once a month. March 22nd. Susan calls Linda. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but your father just changed his will. Almost everything goes to the caregiver. $2.5 million plus the house. Linda's blood goes cold. She immediately calls Jeffrey. That evening, Jeffrey, Linda, and Cameron meet at Jeffrey's house. Panic, fury, desperation. Jeffrey, we need to challenge it. Linda shakes her head. The attorney already said Dad's competent. We'll lose. It'll take years and cost a fortune we don't have. Cameron, so what are we supposed to do? Just let her take everything. Long silence. Jeffrey's voice drops. If something happened to Maya before Dad dies, the bequest would be invalid. The money would revert to us under the old will. Longer silence. Linda, Jeffrey, what are you suggesting? I'm suggesting we make sure she's not around collect. Police later recovered deleted text messages from all 3 phones. March 23rd. Jeffrey to Linda and Cameron. We can't let her steal what's ours. This is our father's legacy. Our inheritance. She's known him for 4 years. We're his blood. Linda, what exactly are you proposing? Jeffrey, Cameron has connections. People who handle problems quietly. Cameron, I know someone from the service. Former military. He's done work like this before, but this is serious. Are we really doing this? Jeffrey, do we have a choice? March 24th. Cameron calls Derek Stone, ex-Army Ranger, dishonorable discharge for assault, multiple weapons charges, currently working private security. Derek brings in a partner, Luis Mendez. Both have criminal records. Both have done this kind of work before. Price, $50,000 total. $25,000 up front. $25,000 after. Bank records show Jeffrey withdraws $25,000 cash from 3 different accounts on March 27th to avoid triggering reporting requirements. Another $25,000 withdrawn on March 29th, held for payment after completion. Derek and Luis begin surveillance March 28th. They watch Robert's house. Learn Maya's schedule. When she arrives, when she leaves, what car she drives, where she goes. 3 days of watching, learning, planning. This wasn't impulsive. This was calculated. The last day, October 26th, 2023, Thursday, Maya's last scheduled work day before taking a long weekend. Robert has something special planned. He's bought a ring. Simple band, small diamond. He's going to propose. Maya doesn't know. She also doesn't know Derek and Luis have been watching the house for 3 days. Around 9 a.m., Cameron sends a text to Derek. Today. Do it today. She's off for 4 days starting tomorrow. Do it tonight. Derek responds, understood. 8 a.m. Maya arrives. Normal morning. Breakfast with Robert. Scrambled eggs, toast, coffee. They talk about plans for the weekend. Maybe drive up to the lake. Maybe just stay home and read. They laugh about how Robert tried to flip a pancake from his wheelchair last week and it landed on the floor. The day passes normally. Physical therapy exercises. Lunch. Reading. Music. Around 10:30 a.m., they decide to sit outside. Beautiful October day. Crisp, sunny, leaves turning gold and red. The security camera is recording. Motion activated. 10:42 a.m. Watch carefully. Maya pushes Robert's wheelchair onto the patio. They talk. We can't hear the words, but you can see her smiling. He says something that makes her laugh. Then she walks around to the front of the wheelchair. She drapes a blanket over his lap, tucks it around his legs carefully. Then she moves close, bends down, cups his face in both hands, and kisses him on the forehead. Gentle, real, the kind of kiss that says, I love you, without words. Robert reaches up, takes her hand. They stand there, Him seated, her bent down beside him, holding hands, looking at each other. 8 seconds of complete peace. Then Maya straightens, moves behind the wheelchair, grips the handles, and pushes him back toward the house. At 10:42 a.m., they disappear from view. This 47-second clip will be played in court 8 months later. The prosecution will use it to prove Maya and Robert weren't caregiver and patient. They were a couple in love. Real, genuine, unmistakable. When the jury sees this footage, they'll understand why Robert changed his will. Not manipulation. Love. Inside the house, the day continues. Lunch. Conversation. Around 5:30 p.m., Maya tells Robert she's heading out to grab groceries and run a few errands. She'll be back in an hour. Then they'll make dinner together. Robert asks if she can pick up ingredients for pasta, his favorite. She smiles, says of course, kisses him goodbye. She has no idea this is the last time she'll ever see him. Maya grabs her purse, walks out at 5:47 p.m., gets into her silver Toyota Camry, and drives toward town. Derek and Louise are parked 2 blocks away, waiting. The moment Maya's car turns the corner, they follow. The abduction. Maya drives to the Northbrook shopping center. Needs groceries. Routine stop she makes twice a week. At 5:56 p.m., she pulls into the parking lot. It's moderately busy. Dinner hour. People coming and going. She parks toward the back of the lot, away from the main entrance. Fewer people, easier to find a spot. That's what they counted on. Maya gets out, locks the car, starts walking toward the store entrance. She's checking her phone, looking at the grocery list she typed up earlier. A white panel van pulls up fast beside her. Side door slides open. 2 men jump out before she can react. Derek grabs her from behind, hand over her mouth. Louise grabs her legs. She tries to scream, kicks, fights. But Derek is 6 feet 3 inches, 240 pounds, former Special Forces. Maya is 5 feet 6 inches, 140 pounds. She has no chance. Zip ties, hand behind her back. They lift her into the van. Door slams shut. 38 seconds total. From approach to door closing. A woman walking to her car sees the van speeding away. Thinks it's strange, but doesn't get the plate number. Doesn't call police. Just thinks it's weird and keeps walking. Maya's Camry sits there. Door still unlocked. Purse on the passenger seat. Phone inside the purse. Everything undisturbed except Maya is gone. Store security doesn't notice for 53 minutes. When they do a lot sweep at 6:49 p.m., they find the abandoned car, door ajar, and call police. By then, Maya has been gone 53 minutes, and she's already at the warehouse. Riverside Industrial Park, Warehouse 7. Abandoned since 2018 when the manufacturing company that owned it went bankrupt. No security. No cameras. No witnesses. Derek parks at the back loading dock. They carry Maya inside. There's a back storage room. Small, windowless, 1 door. They put her on the concrete floor, hands still zip-tied. And Derek does something investigators later describe as the coldest detail of the case. He talks to her first. Tells her exactly why she's there. That Robert's family paid them to make her disappear. That it's not personal, just business. That she was standing in the way of millions of dollars. Then, at approximately 6:52 p.m., 55 minutes after she was taken, Derek strangles Maya Lewis to death. She fights, struggles, can't break free. 3.5 minutes. Then she stops moving. They leave her body in that room. Lock the door from the outside with a padlock. Drive away. 2 hours later, they meet Cameron at a rest stop 40 miles outside Northbrook. Cameron hands over a duffel bag containing the second $25,000 in cash. Cameron, is it done? Derek nods. She's gone. No witnesses. No evidence. Cameron, you're sure? Luis, we're sure. No loose ends. Cameron takes the bag, gets back in his car, drives home, arrives at 9:34 p.m. His girlfriend asks where he's been. Business meeting that ran late. She believes him. Cameron goes to bed that night, knowing he paid 2 men to murder someone and he sleeps fine. The search and discovery. Meanwhile, Northbrook police respond to the abandoned car at 6:49 p.m. They find Maya's purse, phone, wallet, keys, everything. Car unlocked. Clear signs of disturbance. Within 90 minutes, they issue an endangered person alert. 35-year-old woman, possible abduction from shopping center parking lot. Police interview Robert that night. Detectives arrive at his house at 9:15 p.m. Robert has been calling Maya's phone for hours. Straight to voicemail. He's terrified. Detective tells him Maya's car was found abandoned. Signs of abduction. Robert's world collapses. He tells them everything. The relationship, the family's hostility, the confrontations, the will change, the threats. Detective takes extensive notes. Brings in Jeffrey, Linda, and Cameron for questioning. Next morning, October 27th, all three come to the station voluntarily. All deny any involvement. Jeffrey was home with his wife all evening. Wife confirms. Linda was at an open house, showing a property, until 8 p.m. clients and colleagues confirm. Cameron was at a business meeting. Has receipts, emails, calendar invites. Alibis check out. Police have no evidence connecting them to the abduction. Days pass. Then a week. No body. No ransom demand. No contact. Maya has vanished. Robert stops eating. Stops sleeping. Sits in his wheelchair by the window, staring at the driveway, waiting for a car to pull up, waiting for her to walk through the door and tell him it was all a mistake. She never does. November 4th, 2023, 7:12 a.m. The anonymous call. Riverside Industrial Park, Warehouse 7, body. Detectives arrive. Force open Warehouse 7. Find the back storage room, padlocked from outside. Cut the lock. There she is. Maya, dead for 9 days. Detectives process the scene. DNA from zip ties. Fingerprints on the door handle. Fibers. But the breakthrough comes when they investigate the warehouse itself. Property records show the warehouse is owned by Collin Property Holdings, LLC, Robert's company. But after his accident, management was transferred to Jeffrey. Jeffrey has keys to every property, including this warehouse that's been vacant for 5 years. That changes everything. The investigation tightens. Detectives get warrants, phone records, bank records, financial statements. March 24th. Cameron calls Derek Stone. 11-minute conversation. March 27th. Jeffrey withdraws $25,000 cash across 3 transactions. March 29th. Jeffrey withdraws another $25,000 cash. October 26, 5:43 p.m., Cameron sends a text to Derek. Target leaving now. Silver Camry, plate number MOY 2019. That's Maya's license plate. Sent 4 minutes before she left Robert's house. Cameron was watching, or had someone watching. Investigators tracked the white van. Rental records show it was rented October 25th using a fake ID. But security footage from the rental company shows Luis Mendez picking it up. Returned October 27th. Forensic team examines the van. They find traces of Maya's DNA. Fibers matching the zip ties found on her body. Hair samples. Derek and Luis are identified through military databases. Both have records. Both have connections to Cameron. Same unit. Deployed together in Afghanistan in 2015. April 12, 2024. Simultaneous arrests. Jeffrey Collins, first-degree murder conspiracy, solicitation of murder. Linda Collins, conspiracy, accessory after the fact. Deleted text messages prove she knew about the plan. Cameron Collins, first-degree murder conspiracy, kidnapping, solicitation of murder. Derek Stone, first-degree murder, kidnapping, murder for hire. Luis Mendez, first-degree murder, kidnapping, murder for hire. All 5 plead not guilty. Trial and justice. August 19, 2024. Trial begins. Prosecuting attorney is District Attorney Rebecca Morgan, 23 years experience, known for taking down organized crime families. The prosecution presents phone records showing the calls between Cameron and Derek, bank records showing Jeffrey's cash withdrawals, deleted text messages recovered from all 3 Collins family members' phones, Forensic evidence from the van, DNA, fibers, hair. DNA from the warehouse matching Maya and both killers. And the CCTV footage. The jury watches those 47 seconds. Maya draping the blanket over Robert's lap, kissing him on the forehead, holding his hand, pushing him back inside. Prosecution establishes motive. This wasn't random. This was a family eliminating a threat to a $4 million inheritance. Defense argues circumstantial evidence. No direct proof Jeffrey or Linda ordered anything. No confession. No recording. But on day 9 of the trial, Cameron's attorney negotiates a deal. Full testimony against the others in exchange for life with the possibility of parole after 25 years instead of life without parole. Cameron takes it, takes a stand, tells everything. He testifies that on March 22nd, after Linda told him about the will change, Jeffrey proposed a plan. Said the only way to protect their inheritance was to eliminate Maya before Robert died. Cameron reached out to Derek Stone, someone he trusted from military service. Derek brought in Luis. $50,000 total. Jeffrey provided the money. Cameron provided Maya's information. License plate, schedule, vehicle description, home address. Derek and Luis conducted surveillance for 3 days. Cameron sent a text on October 26, signaling when Maya left the house and confirming her vehicle. He met them at the rest stop, paid the second half. Derek told him it was done. Maya was dead. Cameron knew, did nothing, didn't call police, didn't warn anyone, just went home. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. Guilty. All counts. All defendants. September 30th, 2024. Sentencing. Jeffrey Collins, life without parole. Linda Collins, 30 years without parole. Cameron Collins, life with possibility of parole after 25 years. Derek Stone, life without parole. Luis Mendez, life without parole. Court adjourns. Justice is served. But here's what destroys everything. The final tragedy. September 30th, 2024. Same day as sentencing. That evening, Robert Collins dies. Heart failure. Natural causes, according to the medical examiner. But the hospice nurse who was with him in his final days later tells reporters that Robert had stopped talking after the trial ended, stopped responding to questions, just stare at the wall or out the window. The night he died, around 8:47 p.m., Robert spoke one full sentence. The nurse wrote it down. She gave me 5 years of life when my family gave me nothing, and they took her away in seconds. Then his heart stopped. The will is executed. Because Maya predeceased Robert, her bequest is void under standard estate law. Normally, that money would revert to the other beneficiaries. But the clause activates. Because Jeffrey, Linda, and Cameron were all convicted of crimes against Maya Lewis, their inheritance is completely void. All of it. Zero. The entire $4.2 million estate is donated to the American Cancer Society, exactly as Robert specified. The family murdered Maya for money and received nothing. The chilling statement. But there's something from the trial transcripts that should terrify you. During Derek Stone's interrogation, before his attorney shut it down, a detective asked, "Have you done work like this before? Families hiring you to eliminate people." Derek looked directly at the camera, smiled. "You'd be surprised how often families are willing to kill for inheritance. This isn't the first time someone's paid me to make a problem disappear. Won't be the last." His attorney immediately intervened. That line of questioning stopped. The case was closed after convictions, but that statement hangs in the air. How often? Not if families kill for inheritance. How often? What this reveals. Think about what this case reveals. Maya did everything right. 8 years of experience. Perfect reviews across 52 families. Maintained professional boundaries until genuine feelings developed naturally over years. She didn't manipulate. She cared for someone when his own family abandoned him. Robert's decision wasn't incompetence or coercion. Multiple doctors evaluated him. Completely lucid, mentally sharp, capable of making his own decisions. It was gratitude and love. Recognition that Maya gave him 5 years of dignity, purpose, and happiness when his family gave him nothing but abandonment and quarterly check-ins to make sure the inheritance was still intact. But to Jeffrey, Linda, and Cameron, that money was theirs by blood. Didn't matter that they hadn't visited. Didn't matter that they left him alone on his birthday, on holidays, during medical emergencies. The money was supposed to be theirs. When they discovered it wasn't, they didn't challenge it in court. They didn't try to repair their relationship with their father. They eliminated the obstacle. October 26, 10:42 a.m., Maya kisses Robert on the patio. She has no idea that 2 blocks away, killers are watching the house. She has no idea Cameron already sent her license plate to them. She has 7 hours and 5 minutes of freedom left. She's just kissing someone she loves. 47 seconds later, she pushes him inside. 7 hours later, she leaves to get groceries. 9 minutes after that, she's grabbed. 55 minutes after that, she's dead. 9 days later, she's found. 8 months later, killer's convicted. 9 months later, Robert dies. All because a family decided inheritance was worth more than human life. Final warning, if you work in healthcare, especially home care, understand this. Maya had perfect credentials, years of experience, did everything right, still became a target because she showed genuine compassion to someone whose family had abandoned him. 11:55 a.m. The warning signs weren't Maya's behavior. They were the family's reaction. When family members suddenly appear after years of absence and accuse you of manipulation with zero evidence. Document it. Dates, times, what was said. When they threaten your employment or make veiled threats, report it to your agency immediately. Create a paper trail. When they make you feel watched or unsafe, trust that feeling. Maya had 3 hostile confrontations with the Collins family. She should have reported it. She didn't, because she thought it would blow over. She thought they'd eventually accept the relationship, or at least move on. It escalated to murder. The Collins case closed in September 2024. Jeffrey, Linda, Cameron, Derek, and Luis are in prison. Robert is dead. Maya is dead. The money went to charity. But the questions remain. How many other families have conspired to eliminate caregivers they saw as threats? How many other Directs and Louises are waiting for the next call, the next $50,000? How many healthcare workers right now are being watched by families who see them as obstacles to inheritance? We don't know. Most families won't be as sloppy as the Collinses. Most will get away with it. Maya's last moment of freedom was 10:42 a.m., October 26, 2023. Kissing Robert on a patio while a camera recorded, and killers waited 2 blocks away. 7 hours before she walked out that door for the last time. If she'd known, would she have done anything different? Run? Called police? Or stayed on that patio with Robert? Knowing those 47 seconds were all they had left? We'll never know. But we know this. She deserved better. Robert deserved better. If you work in healthcare, vary your routines. Don't park in the same spot every day. Don't leave at the same time. Don't assume family members are safe just because they're family. Document every hostile interaction, every accusation, every threat. Trust your instincts. If you feel watched, threatened, or unsafe, report it immediately. Create that paper trail. Maya had those feelings. She ignored them. It cost her everything.